Hey there, fellow coin hunters. You're digging through your pocket change, maybe looking for a few quarters for the vending machine, and bam, you spot a 1976 D. Lincoln penny. Looks normal, right? Just another beat-up old penny. But hold on. What if I told you that little copper coin could be worth $1 million? That's right, folks. A simple penny, something we all overlook, could be the ticket to an early retirement. In today's video, we're diving into the legendary 1976 D. Lincoln penny that's supposedly worth a fortune. We'll talk about why it's valuable, what makes it special, and, most importantly, how you can find one. Because let's be honest, who doesn't want to turn 1 cent into $1 million? The story behind the 1976 D penny. So, what's the deal with this $1 million penny? Is it magic? A secret treasure left behind by the US Mint? Or is it just another internet rumor? The 1976 D. Lincoln penny was minted during America's bicentennial year, a time when everyone was celebrating freedom, disco was king, and bell-bottoms were, unfortunately, still a thing. Most of these pennies were made from copper and zinc, just like every other penny from that era. But some of them, just a handful, were struck on experimental or error planchets, which means they're unique. And in the world of coin collecting, unique often translates to extremely valuable. What makes it worth $1 million? All right, let's get to the juicy part. What makes this penny worth life-changing money? Some 1976 D pennies were mistakenly struck on silver planchets or experimental metal compositions. These rare errors are what drive collectors wild. If a penny was accidentally struck on a dime planchet, you've got yourself a serious jackpot. As always, the better the condition, the higher the value. If you somehow have a flawless, uncirculated, mint condition 1976 D penny with a unique error, you're looking at serious money. How to spot one in your pocket change now? I know what you're thinking. Okay, this sounds amazing, but how do I know if I have the penny? Great question. Check the mint mark. Look for that little D under the year 1976. That means it was minted in Denver. If there's no mint mark, it was made in Philadelphia. Still cool, but not what we're looking for. Weigh it. A normal 1976 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If yours is lighter or heavier, you might have something special. Time to bust out that kitchen scale. Look for odd colors. If the coin looks silver, white, or just off, you could have an experimental planchet error. Edges and design details. If the edges look different from a normal penny, or if Lincoln's details seem extra crisp or unusual, it's worth investigating. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, sifting through a random box of coins some guy was selling for $1 a handful. I wasn't expecting much, just some common wheat pennies and maybe a buffalo nickel or two. But lo and behold, I pulled out a 1976 D penny that looked weird. The weight fell off, and the color wasn't quite right. Now, did I strike it rich? No. Turns out, my coin was just a regular penny that had been through the ringer. But the thrill of that moment, the what if of it all, is what makes coin collecting so exciting. You never know when you'll stumble upon something incredible. And let me tell you, finding an actual $1 million penny? That would be the ultimate coin collector's dream. Should you start digging through every jar of pennies you can find? Absolutely. You never know when you might come across a hidden treasure. Even if you don't find the $1 million penny, there are plenty of other valuable coins out there just waiting to be discovered. Now, before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I've got plenty more coin hunting tips coming your way. And hey, if you ever find a rare penny, whether it's a 1976 D or something else, drop a comment and let me know. Who knows? Your story could be the next one I feature on the channel. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. All right, folks, let's talk about something that might just change your life. Imagine this. You're digging through your pocket change, maybe about to grab a coffee, and bam, you realize you're holding a penny worth over $1 million. No, this isn't some fantasy or a dream where you wake up and realize it's just Monopoly money. This is real life, and it has actually happened. Today, we're diving into the insane world of coin collecting and talking about the 2018 D. Lincoln penny that's been valued at a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny worth more than a house. So, what makes this particular penny so special? And more importantly, how can you find one? Stick with me, And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, plus some expert tips on spotting valuable coins hiding in plain sight. What's the deal with this 2018 D penny? Now, we've all seen Lincoln pennies. After all, they've been around since 1909. But the 2018 D penny? That's a whole different beast. The D stands for the Denver Mint, and while millions of these pennies were produced, there's a tiny batch that came out with a crazy, ultra-rare error that sent its value skyrocketing. Now, before you start emptying your piggy banks all over the floor, let's break down what makes this coin worth $1.1 million. So, what happened? Well, the rarest versions of this 2018 D penny have a serious minting error, one that collectors and experts are going absolutely nuts over. There's a double die obverse, DDO, error, which basically means some details on Lincoln's face and the lettering look doubled. It's like Lincoln had too much coffee and now his face is slightly blurred. If you tilt the coin under the light, you'll see doubling in Liberty, the date 2018, and even parts of Lincoln's profile. But the kicker? Some of these rare pennies also have a misaligned die strike, meaning the whole design is slightly off-center. That's like getting a passport photo where half your head is missing, clearly a mistake, but in this case, one that makes the coin incredibly valuable. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who in their right mind pays over $1 million for a penny? Well, coin collectors, that's who. One of these ultra-rare 2018 D pennies, graded MS 69RD, red, by PCGS, sold for a whopping $1.1 million at auction. That's because it's nearly flawless, practically fresh from the mint with barely any marks or scratches. The red color also means it's got that original luster, which collectors love. Now, don't worry if your penny isn't in perfect condition. Lower-graded versions can still be worth thousands. Even a lightly circulated one with the right error could fetch a few $100, which is a whole lot better than 1 cent. Grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. You need to check for the doubling on Liberty and the date. If it looks like Lincoln's got a ghostly twin, you might be onto something. Look for the Denver D Mint mark. This error is only found on 2018 pennies from the Denver Mint. If yours has a P for Philadelphia, sorry, not your lucky day. Check for an off-center strike. If the design looks shifted or misaligned, that's another key sign. Send it for grading. If you think you have a winner, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it officially authenticated. Now, let me tell you a little story. A while back, I was at a gas station, digging through my change to pay for a snack. Yeah, I still use cash sometimes, don't judge me. I spot this weird-looking penny, kind of shiny but a little off-center. I take it home, grab my loupe, and guess what? It wasn't a $1 million penny, but it was a double-die 1995 penny worth over $50. Now, I know $50 isn't exactly life-changing, but hey, that was the easiest money I've ever made. And it taught me an important lesson. Always check your change. You never know when you might hit the jackpot. So, there you have it. The story of the 2018 D Lincoln penny that sold for $1.1 million and how you can find one too. Before you go, do me a favor. Check your pockets, your couch cushions, your piggy banks, heck, even that old coin jar on top of your fridge. You never know, you might just be holding on to a life-changing penny. And if you love learning about coins worth money, rare finds, and coin collecting strategies, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more insider tips and wild coin stories coming your way. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Who knows? Your next penny might just make you a millionaire. Alright, folks, gather around because today we're talking about a tiny little copper coin that could change your life. If you're lucky enough to have it. That's right, the 1973 D Lincoln penny, a regular OL pocket change find. But hold on, this baby isn't just any penny. Oh no, it's worth a jaw-dropping $1.20 million. Now, before you go digging through your couch cushions or raiding your grandpa's old coin jar, let's break it down. How did this humble penny turn into a collector's dream? What makes it so special? And most importantly, could you be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be checking every single penny that passes through your hands. Let's take a trip back to 1973. Gas was 39 cents a gallon, bell-bottoms were the peak of fashion, and "Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree" was the hottest song on the radio. And while all that was happening, the Denver Mint was cranking out millions of Lincoln pennies. Most of these pennies, totally normal. You toss them in a vending machine or lose them under your car seat without a second thought. But a handful of these 1973 D pennies came out different. And that's where things get really interesting. What makes this penny worth $1.20 million? So, what's the deal? Why is one specific 1973 D penny making collectors lose their minds? Well, it's all about errors and rarity. Double die obverse, DDO. This means parts of the coin, especially Lincoln's face and the date, appear slightly doubled. It's like the coin was stamped twice, but not quite in the same place. It's subtle, but collectors love this stuff. Struck on a silver planchet. Now, here's where things get wild. This penny wasn't supposed to be struck on a silver planchet, yet it was. That's a huge minting mistake and makes this coin incredibly rare. Mint mark placement, the Denver Mint's little D, is slightly misplaced on some versions, which makes them even more valuable to collectors. How did this even happen? Okay, so how did the US Mint manage to accidentally create a $1.2 million penny? It's simple, human error. Picture this. It's 1973, and a mint worker is having a rough Monday. Maybe he stayed up too late watching the Brady Bunch. Maybe he had one too many cups of bad office coffee. Either way, he accidentally feeds a silver planchet, which was meant for a different coin, into the machine and bam. $1 million mistake is born. Now, normally, these kinds of errors get caught before the coins go into circulation. But this one slipped through the cracks. And now, decades later, collectors are on a nationwide treasure hunt trying to track it down. Alright, now let's get to the part you really want to. How do you find one of these bad boys? Check the date. It must be a 1973 D penny. No D, no deal. Look for doubling, grab a magnifying glass and check Lincoln's face and the date for that doubled image. Weigh it. A normal penny weighs 3.11 grams. But if you've got one struck on a silver planchet, it will weigh around 2.7 grams. So, bust out a scale, sound test, drop a regular penny on a table, then drop your 1973 D. If it has a high-pitched ring instead of a dull clunk, it might be struck on silver. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years back, I was sorting through a roll of pennies I got from the bank. I was in the zone, looking for anything unusual. And guess what? I found a 1973 D penny that looked a little off. My heart started racing. Could this be it? Could I have just found a six-figure coin? Well, I did what any sane person would do. I immediately started daydreaming about a new car, maybe a vacation to Hawaii. But before I booked my flight, I took it to a coin expert. And guess what? It was just a regular 1973 D penny. But for 5 whole minutes, I thought I had hit the jackpot. Lesson learned? Always check your change, but don't quit your job just yet. So, there you have it, the legendary 1973 D Lincoln penny that could be worth $1.2 million. Now, I have to ask, when's the last time you actually looked at your pennies? If the answer is never, you might want to start today. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more coin hunting tips, insider strategies, and stories about rare finds, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Who knows? Your next penny might just be worth a fortune. You're digging through some spare change, maybe looking for a quarter for the vending machine, and boom, you come across a 1979 penny. Just another regular OL cent, right? But what if I told you that one special 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million? Yeah, you heard that right. That's not pocket change. That's life-changing money. Now, before you go flipping over every 1979 penny you own and quitting your job, let's break this down. What makes this coin so valuable? How do you know if you have one? And most importantly, how can you cash in on these rare finds? Stick around, because today, we're diving deep into this little copper beauty that could make you a millionaire. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1979 Lincoln penny, good OL, Honest Abe on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Now, most of these were made in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia ones don't have a mint mark, which is normal. But there's something very, very special about one particular no-mint mark 1979 penny that makes it insanely valuable. Here's where things get juicy. The $1.3 million 1979 Lincoln penny is a mint error, but not just any mint error. It's a super rare, one-of-a-kind misprint that collectors would sell their grandmothers for. This particular penny was struck on a bronze planchet instead of the regular copper-plated zinc planchet used in 1979. The U.S. Mint had switched from 95% copper pennies to the new zinc core pennies in 1974. But every once in a while, a few old copper blanks get mixed in and bam, you've got yourself a crazy rare mistake. Let's put it this way. Out of billions of pennies minted in 1979, there's only one known example of this error in perfect condition. That's why it sold for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million at auction. This thing is basically the Mona Lisa of pennies. Okay, so let's say you dig out your 1979 penny. First, check for a mint mark. If there's a little D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, sorry, you're out of luck. But if there's no mint mark, we're still in the game now. Here's the tricky part. Most 1979 pennies without a mint mark are totally normal and worth 1 cent. The rare $1 million version is made of solid copper, while regular ones are copper-coated zinc. A normal 1979 penny weighs about 2.5 grams. The rare bronze planchet error weighs around 3.1 grams. If your penny weighs 3.1 grams, you might just be holding something special. And trust me, if you do, get that thing certified ASAP. So, what should you do if you think you have one? Alright, let's say you find a 1979 no-mint mark penny that weighs 3.1 grams. First off, don't clean it. Seriously, cleaning a coin is like putting ketchup on a $100 steak. Just don't do it. Next, you'll want to get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade version of this coin could be worth hundreds of thousands to over $1 million, depending on condition. And even if you don't find the $1 million penny, don't get discouraged. There are tons of valuable pennies out there waiting to be found. A personal story. My almost jackpot moment now. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, sifting through an old jar of coins a guy was selling for $5. I found a 1979 no-mint mark penny and thought, could this be it? Am I about to be rich? I pulled out my phone, did a quick weight check. 2.5 grams. Just a regular OL penny. My dreams of retiring early? Crushed. But hey, that's the thrill of coin hunting. You never know what you'll find next. Check your change. That one lucky penny could be sitting in your pocket right now, just waiting to change your life. And even if you don't find the $1 million one, there are plenty of valuable coins out there just waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, hidden treasures, and smart collecting strategies, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post weekly videos to help you turn your spare change into serious cash. And if you've ever found a rare coin, or think you might have one, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Ever wondered if that humble penny jingling in your pocket could be worth a fortune? Well, today we're diving deep into the world of the 2017 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert. While it might not make you an overnight millionaire, there's plenty to discover about its value and what makes certain pennies truly priceless. The 2017 D penny isn't exactly the golden ticket to a $1.4 million payday. In fact, most of these coins are worth, well, about 1 cent. But don't let that discourage you. The real treasure lies in understanding what makes some pennies skyrocket in value. So, what's the deal with the 2017 D penny? Minted in Denver, over 4 billion of these coins were produced, making them quite common. In average circulated condition, they're worth their face value. However, if you stumble upon one in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially with a high grade like MS67 or MS68, you might be looking at a value of around $38. Not exactly retirement money, but hey, it's a start. But here's where things get interesting. The real heavy hitters in the penny world are those with unique errors or historical significance. Take, for example, the 1943 D bronze cent. This little gem fetched a whopping $840,000 at auction. Why? During World War II, pennies were supposed to be made from steel to conserve copper, but a few bronze blanks got mixed in, creating an ultra-rare error coin. How do I find one of these rare beauties? Well, it all comes down to keeping a keen eye out for anomalies. Errors like missing mint marks, double dies, or off-center strikes can significantly boost a coin's value. For instance, a 1990 Lincoln Memorial penny missing its S mint mark was valued at nearly $4,000. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was rummaging through a jar of old coins my grandfather had collected. Amidst the usual suspects, I found a penny that looked a bit off. After some research, I discovered it was a 1955 double-die penny, a famous error coin. While it didn't make me rich, selling it added a nice little boost to my savings. Always check your change. You never know when a rare coin might pop up. And if you're serious about coin collecting, familiarize yourself with key dates, mint marks, and common errors. Websites like CoinTrackers and PCGS CoinFacts are invaluable resources for this. In conclusion, while the 2017 D penny might not be your ticket to millionaire status, the world of coin collecting offers endless opportunities for discovery and, occasionally, profit. So, next time you get a penny in your change, take a closer look. Who knows? You might just find a hidden treasure. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of pennies and want to learn more about coins worth money, hit that subscribe button and join our community of coin enthusiasts. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. Let's uncover the hidden gems in our pockets together. You're sifting through your pocket change, and nestled between a dime and a nickel is a humble 2016 Lincoln penny. Nothing special, right? But what if I told you that this unassuming coin could be worth a staggering $1.5 million? Intrigued? Let's dive into the fascinating world of coin collecting and uncover the mystery behind this modern-day treasure. In 2016, the U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies across its facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Typically, coins minted in Philadelphia lack a mint mark, while those from Denver and San Francisco bear a D and S, respectively. So, a 2016 penny without a mint mark is standard fare. But could there be more to the story? In the coin collecting universe, mint errors are the golden tickets. These anomalies occur during the minting process and can range from double dies to off-center strikes. Some errors are so rare that they transform ordinary coins into coveted collectibles worth hefty sums. During World War II, pennies were made from steel to conserve copper. However, a few were mistakenly struck in copper, making them extremely valuable. One such penny fetched $840,000 at auction. This coin features a noticeable doubling of the date and lettering. Initially thought to be counterfeit, genuine specimens are now highly sought after, with some selling for over $35,000. Now, back to our 2016 no mint mark penny. As of my latest research, there haven't been any reported errors or unique variations for this specific coin that would catapult its value into the millions. The claim of a 2016 penny being worth $1.5 million appears to be more myth than reality. However, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and discoveries can happen when least expected. Let me share a little story. A few years ago, I was rummaging through a jar of old coins inherited from my grandfather. Amidst the sea of pennies, one caught my eye, a 1955 Lincoln wheat penny. Upon closer inspection, I noticed the date appeared doubled. My heart raced as I realized it was the famous 1955 double-die error. After getting it authenticated, I sold it for a tidy sum, which I used to kickstart my coin collection journey. It was a thrilling reminder that treasures can be found in the most unexpected places. While the tale of the 2016 no mint mark penny worth $1.5 million might be more fiction than fact, it underscores the excitement and allure of coin collecting. Every coin in your pocket has a story, and some might just be worth more than their weight in gold. So, next time you come across spare change, take a moment to look closer. You never know what treasures await. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable coins and want to uncover more hidden gems, hit that subscribe button and join us for more coin collecting adventures. Alright, folks, get ready to hold on to your pocket change because what we're about to talk about could be worth more than your entire coin jar. Imagine stumbling upon a penny in your couch cushions, only to find out it's worth a whopping $1.60 million. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But trust me, it's very real. And it's all thanks to a rare 2013 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark. You heard me right. No mint mark. No mint mark, no problem. Unless, of course, you're one of those people who missed it, in which case, you're probably still regretting that day you threw away that weird penny. So, grab your magnifying glass, a cup of coffee, and maybe a comfy chair because we're about to dive into how this little penny could turn your day around. Now, you might be thinking, isn't the 2013 penny just a regular old penny? What's the deal? Let me stop you right there. The 2013 penny in question is a bit of an anomaly. See, every year, the U.S. Mint stamps pennies with a mint mark, which tells you where it was made. For example, D means Denver, S means San Francisco. But in 2013, a few pennies slipped through the cracks. Pennies that were supposed to be stamped with a mint mark, but were missing it completely. And that mistake is what's got collectors losing their minds and their wallets over this little guy. You might be wondering, how does something like this even happen? Well, let me tell you. It's like finding a typo in a book that turns out to be worth thousands. You see, every year the U.S. Mint goes through a pretty rigorous process to make sure all coins are properly stamped. But in 2013, during production, a batch of pennies were accidentally struck without the mint mark. It's basically like when you leave the house with a tag still on your shirt and everyone assumes you bought the shirt for $200. Only, this time, the penny's tag was missing, and now it's worth a few $1,000,000. So how much could this error actually be worth? Well, it all started when a few rare collectors realized these mintless pennies were showing up in circulation. One particularly notable penny recently sold for $1.6 million at auction. Yeah, you heard me right, $1.6 million. That's not pocket change, my friend. That's the kind of money that makes you wonder if you've been checking your change jar for the wrong reasons all these years. Could you imagine finding that in your wallet? Maybe you'd finally get that vacation to Hawaii, or, buy a whole lot of snacks. The value comes from the rarity and the mistake. People love stuff that's unique, right? It's like when you find a vintage t-shirt with a logo that's slightly off-center. It's quirky, it's rare, and that makes it valuable to collectors. The 2013 no mint mark penny is a perfect example of how a small, seemingly insignificant mistake can turn into something worth a fortune. It's not just about the metal or the size. It's about the story behind it. How do you spot this elusive coin in your change jar, and what do you do if you find one? Well, first, get yourself a magnifying glass. You'll need to inspect your pennies up close. Look at the date. If it says 2013 and there's no mint mark, you've struck gold, metaphorically, of course. Just remember, these pennies are rare. We're not talking about finding one in every pile of change you've got lying around, but it's worth taking a second to check, right? I actually had a moment like this once. I was digging through my old coin collection, just some random pennies I had saved from the 90s. Nothing too fancy, right? Well, I decided to go through them to see if any of them were worth something. I picked up this old, beat-up penny, and the date was worn off, but the shape looked a little strange. I almost tossed it, but something told me to hang on to it. Turns out, it was a rare 1982 copper penny that's now worth a few $100. Don't just toss your pennies. Give them a second look. You might be sitting on a gold mine. All right, folks, as you can see, this 2013 no mint mark penny is more than just pocket change. It's a piece of history. So, next time you're rummaging through your coin jar or checking your change after buying a cup of coffee, don't just dismiss that penny as useless. It might be the key to your next big windfall. And hey, if you found this info helpful and you want more tips on how to turn your pocket change into big cash, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss out on more coin collecting secrets, tips, and strategies to make your collection worth even more. Drop a comment if you've got any cool coin stories, and I'll see you next time with more ways to cash in on your collection. Do you ever find yourself flipping through loose change, thinking, what if I just found a hidden treasure? Well, what if I told you that a single penny, yes, just one little copper coin, could be worth up to $1.7 million? Sounds like a fantasy, right? But I promise you, it's not. Grab a seat, because today we're diving into the story of the 1976 D. Abraham Lincoln penny, one of the rarest, most sought-after coins out there. And no, it's not a typo. So, how does a penny go from being just pocket change to something worth more than most people's homes? Stick around and let's dig into this gem of a coin, and who knows? Maybe your next coin jar search will lead to a small fortune. First off, let's talk about the 1976 D penny. The D is for the Denver Mint mark, where this particular coin was minted, and it's a key detail in making this penny so rare. You see, in 1976, the U.S. Mint was celebrating the bicentennial, 200 years since America declared its independence, and as part of that celebration, they made some changes to the coin designs. They even created a special reverse design for the quarter, but it didn't change the penny much. However, that didn't stop this 1976 D Lincoln penny from slipping under the radar and turning into a valuable collector's item. What makes this penny worth a fortune is that, in the case of a few extremely rare examples, there was a double die error in the minting process. Essentially, this means that the coin was struck twice, resulting in a distinct doubling of certain details on the coin, such as Lincoln's eye, his chin, and the date on the front. If you get lucky and find one of these double-dyed pennies, you're in for a treat. But hold on a second, let's talk about what this really means for you. You might be thinking, how do I know if I have one of these error coins? Well, it's not exactly easy to spot with your naked eye. It takes a trained eye to spot that fine doubling, and that's why knowing what to look for is crucial. Look closely at the details around Lincoln's face and the date. If you notice any signs of doubling, then congratulations. You may just have a treasure on your hands. It's like finding a hidden gem in your everyday change. Now, let's talk about the money side of things. The value of these error pennies, when they are in mint condition, can skyrocket. A well-preserved 1976 D double-die penny in near-perfect condition has been known to fetch upwards of $1.7 million at auction. That's right, million with an M. Of course, not all 1976 D pennies are worth that much, but even a less-than-perfect specimen can still be worth hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, depending on the quality and the demand. It's wild, isn't it? Okay, so you might be sitting there thinking, that's all fine and dandy, but how do I make sure I don't miss a penny like that? Well, here's where things get real. I remember when I first got serious about coin hunting. I had that moment where I was just scrounging through change, thinking I had found some random old coin that had to be worth something, only to find out it was just another worn-down, 1990-something penny. Talk about a letdown. But after doing more research and building my collection, I realized it's about the details, folks. You have to be picky. Always check the condition of the coin. A penny that's been sitting in a jar for 40-plus years might not be worth a fortune, but a well-maintained one with that double die error could easily make you a pretty penny. Check the mint mark. Make sure it's from the Denver Mint. That D mark is key. Inspect the coin for any signs of doubling, especially on the date and Lincoln's face. And don't forget, condition matters. A coin in good shape will always bring a higher price. The 1976 D penny might not pop up in your change every day, but it's definitely worth keeping your eyes peeled for. And if you do find one, hey, don't spend it like it's just another penny. Hold on to it. All right, coin enthusiasts, I hope you're ready to start searching through your spare change now. Who knows? That next penny you find could be a jackpot waiting to happen. But even if you don't find the 1976 D Abraham Lincoln double die penny, don't let that stop you from exploring the world of coin collecting. There are tons of valuable coins out there, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. So, if you found today's video helpful, or just want to keep up with more tips and tricks on how to find coins worth money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on what's coming next.